Welcome to Radiant Resilience. I'm going to take you through a shorter, slow flow yoga practice that's just designed to get things moving and work out stiffness if you don't have time for a full length class, but you want to get to some of the major spots. This will be a perfect sequence for you. And as far as props go, you might want something for padding your knees when you're doing anything kneeling. And if you know you like to have your hands a little higher when we go into lunge position, then you might want blocks. If you don't have blocks, you could use like a shorter step stool or even the seat of a chair where you can bring your hands up onto the seat of the chair to just give you a little lift and make sure that it feels comfortable for you. So you're going to keep yourself safe, skip or modify anything that's not feeling good to you today, and we will get started. I'm going to have you come right up into a cat-cow, or a table position, I should say. Pad your knees if you're needing that. And we're going to go right into our cat-cows. Deep breath in, and as you exhale, round your back, and then inhale, arch. And you might even close the eyes so that you're really noticing all of the sensations that come along with this movement, and keep your range of motion into a place that is comfortable for you. And we'll take one more here. And then work your way into your table position again. We're going to stretch the top of one foot. So you're going to keep the top of the foot on the floor as you slide your knee forward. And then you just push gently down into the floor till you get the right amount of stretch for your front of your foot, shin area. And you might push the heel out to the side, and then bring it back into the big toe side. And then from there, stretch that same leg long, tuck the toes under on the floor, and push back through the heel. We're going to flow with this. Inhale the heel forward, exhale, press back. Bring it forward, press it back. One more time, bring it forward and press it back. Hold that press back for a breath or two. And then ease back to both knees. And then we'll go to the other side. Come on to the top of the foot. Slide the knee forward till you get the right amount of stretch for you on this side. And then you might push the heel a little bit to the outside to work into your outer ankle, pinky toe side. And then bring the heel back in line with your big toe. Stretch that leg long, toes tuck under, pushing back through the heel, and we'll flow with this. Inhale, heel forward, exhale, press back. So notice as you bring your heel forward, you're getting a little more bend in the toes, which that bending action, we need a certain amount of that for a healthy gait or stride. And then one more time, as you push back through your heel, hold right there. Good. And then come back to your table position and wag your hips side to side. So you're just going to exaggerate your shoulder movements to feel a little deeper stretch here. Okay. From there, we're going to come into a puppy pose, walking hands forward, and you can have your hands close together or further apart. So do what feels right for your shoulders. Heart melts towards the floor, forehead comes down, keeping the hips lifted. And then as you stretch your arms forward, lift outside edges of the shoulder blades up towards the sky. So you're trying to draw your shoulder blades in towards your spine. Heart melts with every exhale. Maybe work onto the fingertips, palms lifted, if you want to feel a little more intensity in the shoulders. We'll take one more breath here. And then ease yourself back into child's pose. Just go back to what feels right for you. You can keep your knees close together or make them a little wider. Bring your arms to where it feels the most comfortable for them.
If it feels right, you might even do a little rocking here. You can stay center, or you could just rock your head, massaging out the brow, or you could rock the body and the head. And then bring yourself center if you're rocking, and sigh. Stretch the arms forward. We're going to stay on the elbows as we come up to a table position. And then bring your hand behind your head, and you're going to kind of push the back of your head, the back, so not up high on the back of your head. You want to be low at the base of the head or even to the back of the neck. And you'll kind of push the back of the head or neck into your hand as you inhale, lift your elbow. Exhale, bring it down. And bring it up. Bring it down. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more. Breathe in. And breathe out. Good. Come back to that elbow. Same thing on the other side. Inhale the elbow up. Exhale it down. And up. Down. Two more on this side. And down. Good. After that, come back to both elbows, clasping your hands. And now we're just going to do a little rock forward and push back. Come forward, push back. And you can go as far forward as you want and as far back as you want. One more. And then we're going to come into a plank on our elbows and knees. I'm going to move my knee pad now because it never feels good when I come to my belly. So you want to lengthen out your spine. You're going to stay on your knees and elbows. First, let's check in with the neck. So if your chin is jutting forward or your head's dropped down, push the back of the neck up so your head lines up with your shoulders. And then squeeze the thighs together. Squeeze the glutes. Lengthen the tailbone towards the knees. So you're not going to tuck your tailbone. You're just going to get a little length towards the knees. And then draw the navel up towards your heart. Open your collarbones. And then pull your elbows back like you're trying to drag yourself forward. And when you incorporate all of those things, this is a fairly gentle plank, but it's also very challenging. You're using a lot of your muscle groups. Take a few deeper breaths here. And then ease yourself down. And we're going to stay up on the elbows, go a little wider with your feet. And then separate your hands so your arms are forearms are parallel to each other. Same engagement as we did in our plank. So first, let's just push the elbows down and bring the back of your neck back. And then press the tops of the feet down as you lengthen the tailbone, squeeze your glutes, and then draw the navel up towards the heart. And then you're going to elbows stay where they are, but you're pulling them back like you're trying to drag your heart forward. And you'll breathe here. A few deep breaths. Good. And then as you set down, we're going to bring your fingertips straight out from the elbows, forehead on the mat. And you're on your fingertips so your palms are off the floor. Elbows are pointing up towards the sky. And then push your fingertips into the floor. Maybe feeling a little stretch through the front of your chest or shoulders, and feeling the shoulder blades moving towards each other. And we'll take a few breaths here. And then as you release, set your hands underneath your forehead. And we're going to move into a breath where your exhales are twice as long as your inhales. So maybe that's inhale 3, exhale 6, or you could do 4, 8, 5, 10. Do what feels good for you here without strain. And we'll take 3 rounds of that breath. When you've completed that last round, move through another side. And then wiggle your hips side to side. Bend knees and move your feet side to side. Good. And then go ahead, lengthen the legs back out. Hands move underneath your shoulders to press yourself back up into your table. You can reestablish your knee padding if you need that. And then we'll take another cat-cow. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch. And again, round. And arch. Good. From there, we're going to come into a half lunge. So if you know you like some elevation underneath your hands, and then bring your right foot forward. So the reason I like to use blocks is, I'm just going to show you. So if I were in my lunge and my hands were on the floor, everybody's proportions are a little different. Your arm length to the shin length and all of that. So when I put my hands flat on the floor and I'm in my lunge, my shoulders don't feel like they're plugged into their socket, right? They're kind of rounded forward. If I bring some elevation underneath my hands, then I can lift my chest up, lengthen through the front of my chest, and draw my shoulders back into their sockets. So it's here versus here when I have my hands on the floor. So that's just a little explanation of why you might want to use blocks. So once we bring the foot forward, we're going to have hands on the floor, the blocks on the inside of your front foot, and then push your hips back, and we're just going to do a few little hip circles going in one direction and then go the other direction. Now, depending on how everything is feeling right now, you might want to keep your hips more back as you open that front knee to the side. Some of you might feel like you can come more forward and then open the knee out. Totally up to you what feels good for you. And then bring the knee back in. We're going to bring hands to the front leg to bring your chest upright. From there, same arm as your back leg reaches up, or you might reach both arms up. Now you can stay right here, or you can maybe bring your hands back to your front leg, but we're just going to float in and out of this lunge position. So on your inhale, push your front foot into the floor to shift your hips back, and then exhale, come forward again. And then push back, come forward one more time, push back, and come forward. Take one more breath right here. And then bring your hands back to the insides of your front foot. Tuck your back toes under. Lift the back knee up. And we're going to come forward just like we did before and push back. When we were on hands and knees, come forward, push back, working on that toe mobility. Come forward and push back. Good. Set the back knee down. Release the toes. Push your hips back. Come back to table. We're going to do that same sequence on the other side. So walk your blocks or hands over to make space for your foot to come forward. And then you're going to go into your hip circles. And you might notice one side feels a little more loose or flowy, and then go to the other direction. Or one side might feel kind of clunky. Just kind of accommodate whatever you notice from each side. All right, and then you can keep your hips more back, or you can bring your hips more forward as you open that front knee to the side, coming onto the outside edge of the foot. And then bring the knee back in. Now, we're going to walk hands to that front leg, lift your chest up. Same arm as back leg would come up first, or you could reach both arms up, or you could keep hands on your front leg. Now we're going to do a little flow here. Push your front foot down into the floor to shift your hips back. Inhale, and then exhale, come forward. Breathe in, breathe out. One more.
In and out. Pause right here for another breath. And then bring hands back down to the floor or the blocks inside your front foot. Back toes are going to tuck under. Lift the back heel up. And then we'll flow the back heel forward. Inhale, exhale. Forward, back, forward, and back. Pause right there. Take a breath. Drop the knee. Release the toes. Push hips back. Come back to your table. You can set your blocks off to the side now. And let's wag the hips once more. And then you decide whether you want to return to a puppy pose, or maybe you feel like you want to lift up into a down dog now. If you come into down dog, pedal your feet a few times. If you're in puppy pose, reach the outside edges of the shoulder blades towards the sky. And then down dog, come up high on the balls of the feet. Bend your knees so you can lengthen through your spine. And then we're just going to bend and lengthen the legs a few times, staying really high on the toes. Okay, and then lift back up. Keep all that length that you've just created in your spine and start to release heels towards the floor. It's okay if they don't reach the floor. Mine do not. Take a breath in and release it out. Good. And then come back to your table. Walk your hands to the right and then shift your hips back. So you could go back to a child's pose, or you could keep your hips more lifted like a puppy pose. But as you push your hips back, you might shift them a little to the left, drop your head, and breathe into your left side. And then come up, walk your hands to the left, and then you'll shift your hips back and maybe slightly to the right. Head drops, breathe deeply into your right side. And then come back up, walk hands to the middle, find your most comfortable child's pose. So you might keep your knees close together, or you could go wider knees, big toes together. It's really just a preference thing, what feels better on your body. And then take another great big breath and sigh it out. And then roll yourself back up. And we're going to flip around so that we can bring the hips to the floor and legs out in front of us. And then you can either lower down like this, or you can bring your hands to the backs of your thighs and bring yourself all the way down. Knees to your chest, rock side to side. Good. Okay, now we're going to set the left foot down on the floor, cross your right thigh over left thigh. You have two options here. First option is to bring knees up towards your chest right here. The second option is to keep the left foot on the floor, but heel toe your left foot over towards the left edge of your mat, and then move your left knee to the left to pull the right leg along with it while you keep your right hip down on the floor. So whether you chose option 1 or option 2, the idea is to get some stretch out of the side of your leg or hip here. Good, and then whatever option you chose, you can heel toe the left foot back in or set the left foot down, and then bring your right ankle to your right thigh or left thigh. Now we're going to bring the hands onto the right thigh near your hip crease, and you're just light hands on the thigh right here. So take a breath in, and as you exhale, you're going to push the thigh up into your hands, and your hands are just going to meet that resistance. So we're engaging this area by pushing the thigh up into the hands. And then keep the leg where it is, but soften everything. Take a great big breath in.
And then as you sigh it out, press your thigh open, still up by the hip crease. And then as you let that go, we're going to go into figure four pose. So you can keep your left foot down on the floor. You could step your left foot onto a block, or left knee comes up to your chest with either your hands, or you could wrap a strap around the back of your left thigh. Flex your right foot for a stable knee, and then we're going to go side to side with our legs to find that area where you're wanting to go into and hold. And just breathe right there. Okay, we're going to release that side and do the other side. Right foot down on the floor, cross your left thigh over, and then option one is to bring the knees up. Option two is right foot, heel toes to the right. Right knee moves to the right to pull the left leg over. Keep the left hip down on the floor. So again, that's just a preference thing. Whichever one you notice gets into the spots you need that feel the right spots for you, you'll choose that option. For whatever reason, this one, I always feel like I get a little more out of it, but you might be completely different. And then either set the right foot down on the floor or heel toe the right foot back in, and then bring your left ankle to the right thigh. Make sure you're flexing your foot for a stable knee, hands to your left thigh near your hip crease, and now you're just going to keep hands where they are, but press the thigh up into your hands. Make sure you continue to breathe. Now relax everything, legs stay where it is, breathe in, and now as you exhale, push your thigh away with your hands, use near your hip crease still. Okay, and then release that. Figure four pose on this side. Right foot on the floor, right foot up onto a block, or right knee comes up, hands are strapped going around your right thigh. So your left hand would go through the little window of your legs and then go side to side with your legs. And tune in, notice what you're feeling here, and then move into that spot that feels like the right amount for you. Breathe there. Good. And then setting the right foot back down on the floor, bring your left knee up to your chest, and then you might lengthen your right leg along the floor if that's comfortable to you, and sigh. And then bring right knee up to your chest, set the left foot down, or lengthen the left leg out. Sigh again. And then stretch both legs long, arms come over your head. Inhale, flex your feet, push out through the heels of your hands, and then exhale, relax. And then inhale again, this time point your toes, reach out through your fingertips, and release. One more time, choose which one felt the best to you. Breathe in, stretch, and exhale, relax. Slide the arms down to a T position, walk your feet to the floor, take a breath in, and as you exhale, let your knees drop over, head turns the other way. Inhale up through the middle, exhale other side. And I'll do a few more. Now this time, when you come into your twist, stop right there and sigh. And come back up and over and sigh again. Back to center, breathe in. Exhale, knees coming up to your chest. Do a little side to side rock, or you might do some circles here. And go the other direction. Good. From there, roll to your side, press yourself up, come up into a seated position, and we'll just roll the shoulders up, back, and around.
Do your shoulders separately. On your next inhale, take a nice big shrug. And then exhale, relax. Bring your right hand up over to the left side and then reach your left arm over to the right. And come back up and then we'll switch. Left hand over, right arm reaches over. And come back up. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Take one more sigh here. And then you're free to come down to the floor and take a little rest or move on with the rest of your day. That is it. Let me know in the comments below how this was for you, if you have any suggestions or questions as well. Make sure you like this video if you found it helpful, and be sure to subscribe if you'd like to be notified when I post new videos. Thank you. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye.